Hello, beautiful souls. Are you ready to honor your personal truth? I mean, that is the energy that we're all facing right now. Can you feel it? You know, we're here at the November full moon. So it is a Taurian full moon and we are in Scorpio season. If we think about the energy of Scorpio, it's really about transformation and going into the depths, the emotional depths, really dealing with our subconscious patterns. But having the Taurian full moon, what we're really highlighting, what, is being, I guess, thrust into the limelight for us is really themes around our sense of security, our sense of values, our sense of, what is beautiful and meaningful to us. And yeah, I'm sure that you've already felt throughout the year that you've been getting clearer on that. And certainly the last couple of months, the eclipses that we've had the last couple of months and at the beginning of the year really started a bit of that reflection, but certainly the depth of the last couple of months has brought to the limelight, where you want to put your energy now. What have you outgrown and what is no longer resonant for you? So, this is a really potent time now at this full moon. And it's especially feels a bit potent for us at the end of the year. We are approaching a new year. So it's naturally a time of reflection as well, of going, well, where do I want to put my energy next? What is really important to me about how I use my energy and what do I want to create with my life? And I mean, another big factor that's here at the moment is we have Pluto in the final degrees of Capricorn. Literally this coming week, Pluto will move into Aquarius. And, this is not a small cycle. Pluto has been in Capricorn since I think 2008. So, it's sort of the end of a cycle, and if you think back to 2008 and perhaps what you were creating at that time of your life, and just see how perhaps what it is that you were creating is now transforming. It may be that you're letting it go completely, but it may just be that the way that you've been doing that thing, what you've been focused on, is actually shifting for it to be more sustainable or more enjoyable for you. Perhaps you've just outgrown that way of doing it. And, because it's Capricorn, it could be themes around your work. So just considering, I guess, what you're facing right now around where your work is shifting or where you want to put your energy into around the work that you do. And, because we're moving into Aquarius with Pluto, and Pluto is a really, Pluto is like that very transformative planet. So, it's a bit like this Scorpio season. It kind of takes us into the depths in order to transform. And if we don't make that choice, when we can see what needs to shift, then the universe can do that for us and can be quite an upheaval. So, you've got the opportunity right now to actually make the choice. And knowing that if you don't make the choice yourself, chances are you might create a bit of a forced change. Okay, so just being aware of that. And as we Pluto moves into Aquarius, it's really about honoring your unique gifts and how you can offer that into the collective. So just also knowing that, in the final degrees of a sign with something like this kind of a phase, as I say, that's been however many years, over a decade, and we're moving into this phase within Aquarius, which is about a 20-year cycle. So, it's a good chunk of your life. So it would be no surprise if you really are at this crossroads, particularly potentially with your work or, some of your routines or even around community, because Aquarius really is about that collective energy, that community energy, how you, it's about self, but it's also how you survive by being surrounded by others. Like, you can't survive in isolation, but it is important that you bring through your unique gifts so that you can thrive. And therefore you interact with other people who bring their unique gifts and they can thrive just by your reflection or interaction by needing their gifts, so actually supporting them to bring their gifts forward, just like others will be supporting you to start bringing your gifts forward. So just take a moment You know, if you're sitting, standing, laying, whatever, you know, just maybe feel your connection to the earth, because this is a Taurian full moon. So just feeling your connection to the earth for a moment, taking a few long, slow, steady breaths, and just connecting into your sense of self, you know, your inner self in this moment of calm through the breath, but also that part of you that is rising within you, you know, like, where do you want to put your energy next? You know, what is exciting you right now? What has become aware and present for you recently that you know, it's a shift in direction, but it feels like a really positive direction for you to shift into. So just get a feeling of that at the moment. And just while you're doing that, I'm going to bring some of the kinesiology in to see what the collective energy, so that's you as an individual, but knowing that that will transfer, you know, like the butterfly effect out into the collective, so that we can support everyone in this transformation. So what do you and the collective need in this moment to actually help you step more into your power, into your gifts, into that direction that you are being guided, divinely guided to follow, you know, to actually put your energy into? So let's see what we need right now. Okay, so we're being directed to a flower essence, and I am just going to bring that one up. So the essence that we're being directed to, and I'm just going to actually put it into the into the ethers. Just, I mean, look, we can just draw on the words, but you know, and you can energetically draw on the plant, but I'm just also going to do this. I'll just put it on my hands, and I'm going to put it out into the ethers, so knowing that you, whoever's watching, will actually receive some of that energy as well. And we're putting it, you know, intentionally out into the collective. So this flower essence is known as Devil's Claw, and this is a desert alchemy flower essence. So I'm just going to read to you what it says here. For those who use their attractiveness or personal magnetism to manipulate others, or for those who fall prey to others' persuasions. So this actually enhances a sense of responsibility for one's charisma. Interesting. And I guess if we consider that we are wanting to put our energy in a certain direction, I mean, there's positive ways that we can do that. You know, we can really allow ourselves to be filled up from the inside and create a personal magnetism that draws in who we're wanting to receive that energy, or our gifts that we're actually offering to the world. But just being aware of that shadow side of potentially using your personal magnetism to manipulate others. And just, you know, now that I've planted this seed, I mean, just be aware of this in the coming months, you know, to notice, you know, to just ask yourself, am I doing this with the right intentions, or am I doing this from a manipulative place, you know? And so essentially, I guess I see that as the difference between our divine essence and our ego. You know, ego is about power, control, manipulation, and it can be really subtle and subconscious, and still with the thought of having good intentions, but really that's not coming from the heart or from, you know, that place of spirit. And in Chinese medicine, the heart is said to house the spirit, you know, so this is where I make this link. So is it ego, or is it your divine essence, you know, your soul, your spirit, that is actually coming with really pure intentions to support not just yourself, but the collective and anyone that you interact with? Because, I mean, already you know the difference between those things. So just being aware of that, you know, and I guess if I reflect on the energy I can feel around at the moment, is there can be this level of excitement that's happening as well. You know, there's big changes happening, a new year, you know, we've had perhaps an intense couple of months, and we can feel that shift of energy. So just being aware of staying connected to that inner essence, you know, so finding space to ground and to come back to your place of spirit and get that spiritual guidance. Don't be overrun by the mind or the ego during this transition, because that can repel exactly what you're wanting to attract in, you know. And also it can create like short-term gratification, but it's actually not going to bring in that long-term like energetic resonance and alignment. So just being aware of that, of actually just taking, it says, enhances sense of responsibility for one's charisma. So using that really wisely and intentionally, and knowing that this is actually okay to use your charisma to attract in what you want, but do it with a purity, like a purity of intention and a purity of, just doing it not to just gain attention or love or to avoid pain or conflict, you know. So just to do it from that real place of heart and spirit, and that's where you will succeed. Okay, so next, what the collective needs, and I imagine this is going to be in direct flow on from the information I've just given, is, okay, so it's actually a survival response that's come up. So it's a fear which can create a level of timidity or sort of insecurity. So just recognize that, I guess, we are at this precipice of change, you know, and so there can be this fear of change. And I guess being Taurian full moon, you know, Taurus does like stability. It's really about the earth, you know, it likes that stable foundation. So if we're being guided towards change, and that's really prominent for us right now, there may also be this wanting to grasp on to what has been in the past because it is familiar and it feels safe. Okay, so actually that fear that's coming up can create an insecurity just because of the change. And the belief or the affirmation that I really invite you to draw on at this time is simply, I welcome change. So take a moment to, once again, wherever you are, to just ground in, feel your feet connected to the earth if you're standing or sitting with the feet on the floor. If you're laying down or if you're, you know, cross-legged, just feeling your connection to the earth. And just for a moment, let's allow ourselves to send roots deep, deep down, or like a grounding cord from the center of your being down into the earth to the core of the earth. So imagine like the magnetism from the core of the earth drawing that grounding cord towards us, and notice how you feel when you feel grounded. And from this place, just simply state in your heart, I welcome change. And in this moment, I guess I feel the sense to say, make that commitment to yourself and to your soul's evolution to welcome all the changes that the universe is offering to you right now, all the changes that you're being divinely guided towards and that are popping up magically in your space, leading you to this beautiful evolution of your soul. Okay, it is a potent time for change, and it's really that time where you have the opportunity to come into alignment with basically where you can thrive, you know. So it does take conscious choice though, and conscious reflection to actually gain that guidance, so that you're not just being propelled by the excitement or potentially even that fear of the energy that, you know, sends you on your way, or grasping or falling back into old habits just because they're familiar, or just because you're in that unconscious way of being. So the collective energy is saying that's all that we simply need to draw on at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of momentum. There's some beautiful energy happening around. So, you know, for you to make the absolute most of it is just to be aware of how you're using your magnetism and really acting and honoring yourself and others and your energy and their energy from that place of your heart and your spirit. And also welcoming the change that comes from that, you know, and trusting that you are capable of handling all the changes that are being thrust at you right now, you know. And while they might feel a bit discombobulating, that in the end, they're actually going to lead you to your highest and brightest path. And I'll just see if there's anything else that we need to draw on today. Excuse me while I grab this piece. Okay. So a question for you. What matters to you now? So where are your priorities changing and what matters to you now? So how can you welcome the changes in around you choosing that over what you've known in the past? Because it is time to let go, and it may bring up some grief. And grief is perfectly okay. We don't have to judge it to be a bad emotion. It's not. It's a really important phase to actually allow you to integrate and release where you've been so that you can really open more to where you're going. So, okay. So yeah, see how you can make your choices more in alignment with what your spirit is asking for, not the mind, not the ego. And see how you can divinely ask for guidance by grounding, becoming, coming into stillness, allowing that space to come into stillness and calm at this time so that you can really tune into the present and your present course of action and not just be propelled by the energy or by your past, your subconscious behaviors that have been driving you, to actually allow you to embody the new in a new way for this new that you want to create, this new world, this new life, this evolution of your soul that is so needed for us all right now. So wishing you so many blessings at this time, and may you make choices that fully align with what matters to you now.